Did you know that one of the most influential karate masters in history created a secret style passed down through generations that remains shrouded in mystery to this day? This is the story of Matsumura Seito, a style rooted in tradition and shaped by the hands of a man who stood at the crossroads of Okinawan martial arts history, Sokon Matsumura, a legendary master, royal bodyguard, and the architect of techniques that would lay the foundation for modern karate as we know it. Today, we're uncovering the hidden truths of Matsumura Seito, its origins, its secrets, and why it stands as one of the purest and most traditional expressions of karate. Get ready to step into the past and discover a side of karate you've likely never heard of before. I'm Roman Fight Vision, special for Malam's project. Sokon Matsumura was not just a karate master, he was a man of extraordinary influence in the Ryukyu kingdom. Serving as the chief bodyguard for 3 Okinawan kings, Matsumura lived during a time when Okinawa was a melting pot of cultures, positioned at the crossroads between Japan, China, and Southeast Asia. His role was more than ceremonial. He was tasked with protecting the kingdom's most important figures during an era of political instability, where the survival of the monarchy often depended on the strength and skill of men like him. But Matsumura wasn't just a warrior, he was a seeker of knowledge. Recognizing the limitations of the martial arts available in Okinawa at the time, he traveled to China, specifically to Fuzhou, a city renowned for its martial traditions. There, Matsumura trained under some of the most skilled Chinese martial artists, absorbing their techniques and philosophies. This experience profoundly shaped his approach to combat. He studied forms influenced by White Crane and other southern Chinese styles, incorporating their circular movements, strategic footwork, and emphasis on precision over brute strength. When Matsumura returned to Okinawa, he didn't merely replicate what he learned, he refined it. He merged these Chinese teachings with Okinawan traditions, creating a system that prioritized efficiency and adaptability. Matsumura was instrumental in transforming karate from a basic form of self-defense into a comprehensive martial arts system, balancing both the physical and mental aspects of combat. Now here's the shocking part. Matsumura wasn't content with his influence remaining confined to Okinawa. He became one of the first to introduce karate to the Japanese elite, including samurai. Just imagine, a master of Okinawan martial arts teaching the warrior class of Japan, known for their own rigid traditions. It was Matsumura's undeniable skill and innovative approach that earned him respect, bridging the gap between 2 vastly different martial cultures. Through his travels, teachings, and vision, Sokon Matsumura didn't just shape karate, he elevated it, ensuring its legacy as both an art and a science. And yet, despite his monumental contributions, much of his style, Matsumura Seito, remains shrouded in secrecy, passed down through only the most dedicated practitioners. Matsumura Seito isn't just about precision and strategy, it's about understanding the human body and exploiting its vulnerabilities with near-surgical accuracy. Sokon Matsumura's victories are legendary, and his approach to combat was both methodical and devastating. One of the most famous stories about Matsumura involves a duel with a much larger and physically stronger opponent. Instead of relying on brute force, Matsumura used his opponent's aggression against him. He sidestepped an attack with minimal movement and delivered a precise strike to the opponent's suigetsu, the solar plexus. This strike immediately incapacitated his opponent, leaving him gasping for air and unable to continue. Matsumura understood that a well-placed strike to this vulnerable area could disrupt breathing and disable even the toughest adversary. In Matsumura Seito, targeting vital points is a cornerstone of its strategy. For instance, Mikazuki or temple. A sharp strike here can cause disorientation, temporary blindness, or even unconsciousness due to the sensitivity of the cranial nerves. Kinteki, groin. A precise upward kick to this area can completely incapacitate an opponent, exploiting one of the most vulnerable points on the body. Kensetsu, joints. Matsumura Seito includes techniques for striking or locking joints like the knees and elbows. A targeted strike to the knee, for example, can destabilize an opponent, leaving them vulnerable to follow-up attacks. Manusaki, or clavicle. A quick downward strike here with a fist or edge of the hand can cause intense pain and disrupt the arm's movement, neutralizing an opponent's ability to punch effectively. Matsumura's ability to pinpoint these areas wasn't just instinctual, it was the result of rigorous training and deep knowledge of human anatomy, much of which he learned from Chinese martial arts. This knowledge has been passed down through Matsumura Seito, often encoded in its katas. For example, the kata Passai emphasizes short, explosive movements designed to close the distance and deliver strikes to vulnerable areas like the neck or solar plexus. Meanwhile, Seisan incorporates techniques that mimic real-world combat scenarios, such as defending against multiple attackers, while targeting key points to disable them one by one. Matsumura's legacy as an undefeated fighter wasn't just about his strength or speed. It was his ability to combine these precise techniques with a deep understanding of strategy, timing, and anatomy that made him a master of combat. Through Matsumura Seito, his methods live on, offering practitioners a glimpse into the mind of one of karate's greatest strategists. The influence of Matsumura Seito on modern karate is monumental, yet often understated. This style, deeply rooted in the teachings of Sokon Matsumura, laid the groundwork for some of the most prominent karate systems we know today, including Shorin Ryu and Shotokan. Let's start with Shorin Ryu. This style directly traces its lineage to Matsumura Seito. The principles of economy of movement, strategic application of force, and precise targeting are hallmarks of Shorin Ryu, all inherited from Matsumura's teachings. Choshin Chibana, the founder of Shorin Ryu, was heavily influenced by Matsumura's techniques and philosophy, ensuring they remained integral to his own system. Shotokan, one of the most widely practiced styles of karate in the world, also owes a debt to Matsumura Seito. Gichin Funakoshi, the founder of Shotokan, was a student of Anko Azato and Anko Itosu, both of whom studied under Matsumura. Funakoshi adapted many of Matsumura's principles, modifying them for a more structured and systematic approach, making karate accessible to a broader audience in Japan and beyond. Techniques from Matsumura's katas, like Passai and Seisan, were incorporated into Shotokan, though often in simplified forms. Matsumura Seito is often referred to as a pure source of traditional karate because it has remained largely unaltered over the centuries. While other styles evolved, adapting to modern preferences or competition rules, Matsumura Seito preserved its emphasis on real-world combat effectiveness and its deep philosophical roots. This commitment to tradition is why it's so highly regarded among martial arts purists. The role of the Matsumura family in preserving this style cannot be overstated. Unlike many other karate systems, Matsumura Seito was kept within the family for generations, taught only to a select few who demonstrated both skill and loyalty. This approach ensured that the style remained authentic, free from the influences of commercialization or modernization that altered other systems. Even today, Matsumura Seito remains a living connection to the past. It serves as a bridge between the Okinawan traditions that birthed karate and the modern iterations practiced worldwide. For those who seek to understand karate's roots, Matsumura Seito isn't just a style, it's a time capsule, preserving the vision and techniques of one of the greatest martial artists in history. Sokon Matsumura's legacy is not without its share of intrigue, mystery, and controversy. Known as an undefeated fighter, his duels are the stuff of legend. One of the most famous tales recounts how Matsumura defeated a skilled samurai in a match that tested not just strength but intelligence. Rather than engage directly in a prolonged fight, Matsumura baited the samurai into overextending, creating an opening to deliver a single decisive strike to the neck, rendering his opponent unconscious. Stories like this earned him the reputation of being untouchable in combat. But what truly sets Matsumura apart is the secrecy surrounding his teachings. It's said that Matsumura didn't teach all his techniques openly. Instead, he reserved certain advanced methods, including joint manipulations, pressure point strikes, and grappling techniques, for a small circle of trusted students. These secret teachings, known as kuden, were passed down orally or through private lessons, never written down. This has led to persistent rumors and debates within the karate world. Some claim that only those directly connected to the Matsumura lineage have access to the true Matsumura Seito techniques. Others argue that many of these secret methods have been lost over time due to the selective nature of transmission. The result? A divide among practitioners, with various schools vying to prove their authenticity as the rightful heirs to Matsumura's teachings. The controversy doesn't stop there. Modern historians have pointed out inconsistencies in the recorded history of Matsumura Seito. Some argue that the style we know today may not be an exact replica of what Matsumura originally taught. Over time, adaptations, reinterpretations, and even deliberate alterations may have crept in. This raises an uncomfortable question. Is it even possible to practice the pure Matsumura Seito anymore? One particularly shocking claim suggests that some of the techniques Matsumura brought back from his travels in China were so advanced that even his closest disciples didn't fully grasp them. These methods may have been lost entirely when Matsumura passed away, leaving gaps in the style that subsequent generations attempted to fill in their own ways. These mysteries and debates only add to the allure of Matsumura Seito. It's not just a martial art, it's a puzzle, a living legend shrouded in secrecy. For practitioners, the journey to uncover its true essence is as much a philosophical quest as it is a physical one. And for us as observers, it's a reminder of the depth and complexity of karate's history, a history filled with triumphs, mysteries, and a touch of scandal. Today, Matsumura Seito remains a niche yet respected style of karate, practiced by dedicated martial artists worldwide. However, finding a dojo that teaches this style can be a challenge. Its preservation largely depends on small, close-knit communities of practitioners who are deeply committed to maintaining its traditions. You're most likely to find authentic Matsumura Seito instruction in Okinawa, Japan, the birthplace of the art, as well as in select dojos in the United States, Canada, and parts of Europe, where disciples of Okinawan masters have spread their teachings. But how does Matsumura Seito hold up in modern self-defense scenarios? Here's where skepticism comes into play. While the style's focus on precision, timing, and efficiency is timeless, some argue that its traditional techniques may not fully align with today's unpredictable and chaotic self-defense situations. For instance, Matsumura Seito emphasizes strikes to vital points like the solar plexus, neck, or joints, areas that are undeniably effective but may require a level of precision difficult to achieve under the stress of a real-life confrontation. Moreover, the style's reliance on kata, pre-arranged forms, as a primary training method has drawn criticism. Some modern martial artists feel that kata lacks the dynamic unpredictability of live sparring or scenario-based training. While kata can teach principles and refine technique, its practical application may require additional adaptation to handle contemporary threats like multiple attackers or weapons. Despite these critiques, many masters of Matsumura Seito defend its relevance. They argue that the style's strategic approach and emphasis on understanding an opponent's movements are as applicable now as they were in Matsumura's time. A senior practitioner once said, "Matsumura Seito doesn't just teach you how to fight, it teaches you how to avoid fighting. It's a complete philosophy." For those looking to study Matsumura Seito, commitment is key. This is not a style you dabble in for a few months. It requires years of dedication to truly understand its nuances. And while it may not be the flashiest or most widely practiced system, it remains a treasure for those who value the preservation of traditional martial arts. Whether it's the right choice for modern self-defense depends on what you're seeking, an art deeply rooted in history or a practical, high-pressure combat system. Matsumura Seito represents a living link to the origins of karate, a style steeped in history, precision, and tradition. From its creation by Sokon Matsumura to its influence on modern karate systems like Shorin Ryu and Shotokan, its legacy is undeniable. Its focus on strategy, efficiency, and targeting vital points makes it unique, even as debates swirl about its relevance in today's world. So, what do you think? Should we preserve these traditional styles as they are, or should karate continue to evolve with modern needs? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoy exploring the hidden corners of martial arts history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what style you'd like me to dive into next. See you in the next video.